Game critic isn't stuck in a rut, but audience's attitudes towards it are. Everyone's a critic. Oh shit, am I jumping in too early? I'm jumping too early. Ah shit, I haven't even rolled the intro. Mero, are there any opening lines for this?
You didn't write it, sir. I just brought the script that you in.
Shit, I thought I wrote the lines in this video. I just remembered, god damn it. So, I don't know how to open this.
Perhaps greeting your new patron would be a good start.
I got a new patron? Alright, thanks a bunch, Carlos Daniel. You absolutely rock, man.
He also asked you on your opinions on the Shimoneta English dub.
Shimoneta is about to get an English dub? Well, I would be extremely thrilled, actually. I mean, Funimation has done a nice job on their dubs so far. The dubs on Death Parade and Ouran High School Host Club are surprisingly well done, although definitely needs more actual Brits on Black Butler. That's about as much as Funimation dub that I've watched. We're just gonna wait until we see the previews of it. Not much of a video material to make, to be honest, but at least I can get my opinions out. Once again, thanks for the pledge, man. Back to our main topic. Alright, roll the intro. Wait, Mero? Mero, that's not our intro. That's not our intro. Okay, that was quite the hiccup. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another video. So in the last video, we browsed into how unreliable movie critics can get. This time, we get to how unreliable game critics can get. So when concerning video game criticisms, you can either play the games yourself and make your own criticisms, or if you're still conflicted on whether or not you want to play the game, you can just browse it through several different people on YouTube that does video game reviews, like Yahtzee, Angry Joe, Larry Bundy, Lord Carnage, Total Biscuit, many others with their unique opinions and a relatively balanced, subjective, objective views on the games that they're playing. However, time and time again, we see a decline of popularity in the reviews that modern gaming journalists give. There are multiple factors that contribute to this. YouTube is getting bigger and bigger, and everybody can share their opinions on a particular game, and individuals sharing their opinions on YouTube feels a lot more personal, genuine, and in a lot of ways honest, because their only influence is playing the video game itself. Video reviews from your typical outlets feels a little bit artificial, robotic, less personal, and just all around boring. And their influence don't have to come from the game. It can come from the game developers paying them to make positive reviews. These outlets are starting to turn into just mere advertisements from the game, rather than giving a genuine critical look of it. Now, I can point out two specific examples on why these video game critics are getting more and more unreliable, and we don't even have to go into ancient times. You can just focus on the past 6 years. Diablo 3, SimCity 2013, every Call of Duty game in the past 6 years, every Battlefield game in the past 6 years, and every BioWEAr game post Mass Effect 2, which includes Dragon Age 2, Mass Effect 3, and Dragon Age Inquisition, all of which are games that are received well by the critics, but not so well with the gamers themselves. And again, you can have opinions on each games that I mentioned here, but you need to at least understand where these people's complaints are coming from, and the complaints deal with some really big issues. Diablo 3, with its always online policy, causes a lot of gamers to simply not be able to play it at the time of release, despite the fact that they pay full price for it. So when I buy a $60 game, I expect it to work, which is not the case for Diablo 3 at the time of release. If that's not bad enough, there are some game journalists that happily defend the always online policy while having advertisements of said game just right next to it. Same goes with SimCity 2013, and same game journalists positively review the game even though they play it on a private server. Dragon Age 2 is a game that I haven't played, but a lot of people kept saying that it's horrible, the writing is atrocious. As it turns out, the writer of this game doesn't like video games and doesn't play video games. That's right, a writer for a video game who doesn't like playing video games. When this is brought into light, Kotaku and Jim Sterling framed all of the criticisms as misogynist attack to the writer. No fucking seriously. BioWEAr is dead. BioWEAr hires people that are not even competent on their job, and it's not even their last. They hired this chick.
When you can hear the person on the other end who's saying these things directly to you, and they're saying them directly to you, that's a whole other level of harassment, really.
This chick is a laughing stock, and you're hiring her to write for your video games? I haven't even mentioned the horrendous serial racist Manveer Heir. Jesus Christ, you can't handle criticism so much you're shutting down your own forums. Let's not forget the Mass Effect 3 ending fiasco, which even movie critics like Jeremy Johns make a video about. And again, game journalists went on to say, "Gamers, you're a bunch of entitled dickheads." Yeah, entitled for getting my $60 actually worth something. Fucking hell. The only reason why games by BioWEAr get positive reviews is because they're associated with the most evil game company ever. I mean, EA is the kind of game company that would charge you $130 for a collector's edition of a game that does not include the actual game. Oh shit, now I know why I deleted the intro. This is literally my talking points I said in my Attack on Gamers video, and I have to repeat it again? So it looks like I have to bring in new examples. Mero, do you have any examples in 2016?
Sir, you made a script for a No Man's Sky video.
No Man's Sky. I think we could use that. Are there any links and citations for that?
Yes, but I'm gonna have to bring it to PowerPoint first.
Crap, should have gotten more prepared. I'm gonna ramble for a moment as you bring it there. So No Man's Sky. I mean, it's not even a game that I want to buy, but it's a game that definitely gets Don to rustle up on people's jimmies. Sean Murray is either blatantly lying or just being deliberately vague towards pretty much everything, and I mean deliberate.
I got all the links you need on the slides.
Perfect, bring it on screen. In 2014, he said that the game is not an MMO. A few months after that,
will you be able to play with your friends? Yeah.
And a few days before the game's release, No Man's Sky will not be a multiplayer. The chance of players crossing paths in this universe is pretty much zero. But then, oh my god, 2 players actually found each other on stream? How inconsistent can you be? And it's not even true! Let's put the stark contrast between reviewers and gamers aside for a moment. One of No Man's Sky's biggest criticisms is the fact that it's missing a lot of feature. Do you know the first person who found the tons and tons of missing features in No Man's Sky? Some guy at Reddit. I really don't know why some guy at Reddit finds out about the missing features. I mean, shouldn't it be the game journalists who got access to the game and got to interview the game developers themselves? Why is some guy at Reddit finding the tons and tons of missing features in the game? Oh, and gamer entitlement strikes again, because you can't criticize a game without game journalists calling you entitled. It's practically Sunday.
どうしてこんな社会になっちゃったのかしら。
あんたの頭がどうしてそうなっちゃったんだよ。
So before we even begin this article, we already know what's wrong. These guys live in glass houses and throw stones, but who am I to decide? Let the article speak for itself. Mero, I'm gonna need you to read this one for me.
Above all, video games are meant to be just one thing: fun for everyone. The above quote was said by a man I greatly respect, the late Satoru Iwata. He was a great man who achieved so much in this industry. Many in it are influenced heavily by him, and his work meant so much to many others. The above quote is a nice goal to aim for, but I can't agree wholeheartedly with this quote because it's a pretty narrow-minded view of what games are these days and what they can be. While games are for everyone, they don't necessarily need to be fun.
Well, it's not that I disagree that video games can be not fun while still keep its entertainment value. I mean, games like Spec Ops: The Line, Silent Hill 2, they exist to torment the living shit out of people. Games like Dark Souls want to make you grind your fucking controllers out. Games like Kato I Shoujo want to make you cry in the corner. I agree that games don't have to be fun to be good. It just needs to deliver a powerful impact that keeps the players engaged from start to finish. That's why I consider video games as art. It's a very expressive medium. However, I disagree with what you consider entertaining. And yes, people can have different opinions of what they consider entertaining. That's totally fine. But like I said in my last video, the basis and influences that form those opinions are more important than the opinion itself. You can have an opinion, but if your opinion is something that misrepresents the original material, objectively speaking, that's a terrible opinion, as I coined the term, destructive criticism. There are people who criticize Dynasty Warriors for being too Asian. There are people who criticize Suicide Squad for having a gun fetish. There are people who criticize Deus Ex Mankind Divided for bringing up serious topics. There are people who criticize Pokemon Go for discriminating against black people somehow. There are people who criticize Pokemon Go for being haram. There are people who praises Ghostbusters 2016 for literally pissing people off. You want us to listen to your opinions and your critique. But why should we, when what you're trying to shove down our throats misrepresents, disrespects, is off topic or even immoral to the material that you criticize? We're skipping ahead a few paragraphs because these are all examples of how video games can be an amazing medium. We all know that. Let's get to the writers' actual criticisms on the gamers' attitude, because this entire article is based entirely on that.
This is why thinking critical analysis should only focus on fun is folly. Reducing video games that base competent results in amazing experiences being left by the wayside due to not being defined as fun.
Alright, so what are the games that gamers are criticizing for being not fun? I mean, you give us a bunch of examples in the last few paragraphs, but these games are universally praised, and they're being praised for being a powerful emotional experience. Not necessarily fun, but still powerful. So I don't know who you're referring to here, writer, unless you can give me one specific example of where gamers' criticisms are nothing but the game is simply not fun. You're basically spraying your MP7.
Unfortunately, as game critique has wised up to the idea of observing all facets of a game, including the political themes contained therein.
Wait. Stop right there. Including the political themes contained therein? Yeah. We've seen you attempt to criticize political things in video games or even inject political themes in video games. We have discussed this in our last video. The last time I checked, you want games to grow up, but no, when politics actually get inside your game, you throw an absolute temper tantrum because it's not the politics that you want or the people who present it is not black. Even though it's not true. One example of injecting politics unnecessarily in games is Baldur's Gate Siege of Dragonspear. What a completely inferior expansion pack for an all-time classic shoved in with nothing but painfully cringe-inducing writing. It's about epics and heroic adventuring. That's an actual line for the game?
Yes. I would also like to add that the writer of this game follows Anita Sarkeesian. Oh no.
I gotta drink that. Here's one hilarious example. Ben Kuchera off of Polygon thinks that Tetris is able to brainwash you with Soviet propaganda. I'm still not done. Why is it called No Man's Sky? But it's misogynistic. Why is he slapping her butt? That's misogynistic. The Witcher 3 is but way too many people. Grand Theft Auto 5 is horrendous, awful, sexist, misogynistic, insult to feminism. We want the female Link. Linkle is not enough. She's a sexist character. Do you see my point?
Many voices within the gaming community believe that game critique should look at games like products rather than an entertainment medium, and that we should focus on basics like graphics and fun.
Stop right there, writer. Nice use of weasel words right there. Many voices. Can you at least specify how many? Can you at least point out one person who says that only graphics and fun are important? Is it like 1,000, 1,000,000, a selective view? Again, you're spraying a machine gun mindlessly to everyone. You need to at least point out a few examples. And to all the people in the comment section who are going to point one, I know that there are people who will only look at games based solely on their graphics and their fun aspects and want their games to be simple. They exist. However, the writer here points to examples of games that people universally love. So if the writer's assertion that gamers only look for the basics like graphics and fun is true, the games that the writer referred to before should be bashed into oblivion. But nope, lots of people love these games. So writer, give me one example of a game that people criticize because it's not fun. Or at least that's what the gamers are trying to argue. Until then, your criticisms are baseless.
Games and the themes they contain are more complex. As such, there needs to be critique to match. Not all critique has to go its way through. If you want to have reviews that concentrate on the base level, then seek them out and read them. People shouldn't be lambasted for wanting to look into the deeper meanings behind what 21st century games and their stories convey.
Deeper meanings? If by deeper meanings you mean how Tetris is able to turn people into goddamn commies, no thanks. We lambast you for that because what you're saying is incredibly narrow-minded and it makes you look like a moron. If you don't want to look like a moron, please say something that is at least have some basis on reality. Gamers have done that. There's analysis of Silent Hill, Spec Ops: The Line, and even Five Nights at Freddy. Have you done anything like this? All you do is spraying your MP7 to everyone indiscriminately, and please, for the love of God, actually bring relevant criticisms into the table because your criticisms and analysis are baseless and garbage.
Everyone is different. Criticisms, like fun, is subjective. Something that resonates with one person will not resonate with another. That's how individuals work. Should a person finding something in a game that they find distasteful to the point it affected how they view the game, then it's up to communicate it within their analysis. Everything within a review may not apply to you, but it might to someone else. Video games have grown up and continue to grow, with game criticisms doing the same. It's about time we understood that.
This entire article screams nothing but a guy who gets out of an isolated cave from bumfuck nowhere and just discovered that, oh my god, games are evolving? Not only that, but from the title alone, this article doesn't even know who they're criticizing. They're criticizing the entire audience for not doing the things that they have done. We have criticized games beyond just fun and graphics. We have looked at games as less of a product and more of an art. We have looked at deeper meanings of 21st century games. What more do you want? I guess I can understand why modern game critics working at video game journalists are not being taken seriously now. They don't play video games. They can't even accurately represent the gaming community. They write information that millions of gamers around the world already knows. They don't understand video games and they don't understand gaming. Case closed. I need to take a break.